psychology of love is one of the most interesting topics, and one we're all curious about. Wouldn't you agree? And though it can mean something different for everyone, that doesn't stop us from trying to better understand it and seeking to learn how to nurture it. And though psychologists have put forth plenty of ideas and theories about love, what it is, the many faces of it, how and why it happens, something that maybe we don't explore enough is how love develops over time. With that said, stick around to learn more about the 5 stages of love and why most people stop at 3. Stage 1. Infatuation and early attachment. According to clinical psychologist Dr. Deborah Kushaba, the earliest stage of falling in love has a lot to do with attraction, infatuation, and early attachment. Often people will experience a strong sense of euphoria being around the object of their affection, and when their feelings are reciprocated, life will seem all the sweeter for it. They'll get butterflies, laugh more, flirt often, and feel little else but passion and playfulness. This is usually everyone's favorite stage of love because it's all about fun and romance. Stage 2. Getting serious. Enter stage 2. Once the initial glow of first falling in love wears off, couples will often start to get serious about their relationship. This phase is usually when a lot of big commitments are made, like saying I love you for the first time, or learning to compromise with your partner. Couples who don't put in the work, says psychotherapist and clinical social worker Alison Abrams, will likely drift apart once their attraction wears off, and may even find themselves getting infatuated with other people. Stage 3. The crisis stage. In a decades-long clinical study on how the brain reacts to love, conducted by neuroscientist Dr. Helen Fisher and clinical psychologist Dr. Lucy Brown, the more evolved part of the brain will start to take over after couples have been together for a while. Participants describe their love as richer, deeper, and more rooted in knowing the other person better. Dr. Brown explains that this stronger bond is a result of facing a significant crisis together, which helped both parties see how much they've grown, changed, and whether or not they can continue to grow together. That's why this is often referred to as the make or break point of relationships, and why most people stop at this stage of love. Stage 4. Climbing down from the pedestal. Not all couples come out of the crisis stage, and those that do don't always emerge unscathed. It's at this stage that the couple sees each other's flaws and weaknesses most clearly, but learns to forgive and accept one another in spite of them. According to an article published by BetterHelp, this stage is marked by a deeper commitment and strong feelings of contentment because it is no longer a love held up by ideals of romance or passion, but rather by a strong foundation of friendship, trust, and mutual respect. Often, couples at this stage are married, have children, or live together. Stage 5. Deep attachment and stability. Not long after the 4th comes the 5th and final stage of love, deep attachment and stability. According to BetterHelp, reaching this stage is quite a rare achievement, as it means that a strong and lasting bond has been made. The relationship has already reached a place of balance, stability, and continued emotional fulfillment. The only thing left to do is to keep it that way by remaining communicative, honest, and loving towards one another. They say nothing worth having comes easy. Well, that's certainly true when it comes to love. It can be beautiful and enthralling, yes, but far from the perfect fairy tale most of us may want to believe. But having a good understanding of the different stages a relationship goes through can help you navigate your way towards a more enduring and loving partnership. So, what are your general thoughts on this video, or about love in general? Let us know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and share it with others. Until next time, thanks for watching and take care. The inner child is a part of the psyche that feels like your childhood self, holding all the memories and emotions, good or bad, that you experienced. We all have a younger part of ourselves that was never quite loved the right way or the way they needed as a child, says clinical psychologist Trish Phillips. When parts of us have been rejected and labeled as too much during early childhood, these may manifest as inner child wounds. As psychotherapist William Barry puts it, the inner child is often representative of the trauma of youth, and sometimes we continue this pattern well into adulthood. Watch along to find out more about 5 subconscious ways you continue to hurt your inner child. Overvaluing independence. I don't need anyone. Do you repeat this mantra to yourself daily? After a childhood where primary caregivers were unable to meet your requirements for love and safety, you have learned this phrase can help soothe your inner turmoil. Just like the child who bangs the door shut, shouting for everyone to go away, when in reality what they need is a tight cuddle. Not allowing yourself to ask for any help further isolates your inner child, when what it needs the most is companionship. Psychotherapist Dr. Stephanie Stoll advises to combat negative thoughts such as "I don't deserve love because my parents didn't show me any" with "I was just a child who deserved love and still do." Passive-aggressive behavior. When you bury painful emotions from childhood abuse deep within, they can surface as passive-aggressiveness. Adult survivors of childhood trauma usually carry a lot of anger they don't know how to deal with, says trauma coach Natalie Elliott. They often use sarcasm in the guise of a joke, or make mistakes while pleading innocence. This behavior keeps your inner child stuck with the same feelings of being on edge. Rather than confront and deal with these, your inner child braces itself for the next time these erupt, causing further isolation and destroying important relationships. Self-criticism and low self-esteem. Is your internal critic always finding fault with you and invalidating your emotions? Growing up with overly critical or demanding adults may have caused your younger self to internalize your parents' critical adult voice, which is now part of your own thoughts subconsciously. How you see yourself is significantly shaped by your early environment. Children internalize how others see them, and growing up, it becomes part of their self-perception, says Darius Sukhanovicius, author and certified mental health coach. Yet, it is important to remember these internalized opinions are old pieces of memories that you need to release to finally set yourself and your inner child free. Feeling highly reactive. How do you feel when corrected by someone else? Certain situations may trigger memories of similar childhood events where you felt helpless and confused. Our adult self is trying to manage or control the outside that's making them feel uncomfortable on the inside, says clinical psychologist Trish Phillips. You are suddenly very irritated by slight inconveniences, or you may even experience total detachment. These reactions may seem over the top or out of proportion, but it is when your needs for attention went unmet as a child, in turn frightening your inner child. If you were constantly judged for any wrongdoing as a kid, it may have led you towards becoming an adult who often erupts, unable to take responsibility for their defensiveness. When emotions run high all the time, you are unable to listen and connect to your frightened inner child who seeks your attention. Self-defeating behavior. Do you often get in your own way? The tendency to self-sabotage is a clue you've run into your inner child, says psychology Dr. Leah Katz. When you go through a childhood being told you're not enough, self-sabotage stems as a misplaced form of protection against feelings of disappointment. Rather than cope with the chagrin of falling short, you tend to give up before you have the chance to fail. Trauma coach Natalie Elliott explains, childhood trauma holds us back and bricks up our potential in truly unimaginable ways. Feelings of inadequacy stop you from pursuing hobbies, work, or relationships. This manifests in relationships when you avoid getting close to others because you worry they'll leave eventually. Self-sabotage reinforces the idea of not being enough, perpetuating your inner child in a ruthless cycle of trying to prove their worth. Emotional suppression or repression. It is a common aftermath of childhood traumas such as bullying, abusive caretakers, or mismatched environment, says licensed psychotherapist Kat Volono. If you grew up being told that you shouldn't cry or you should be strong and take care of others around you, you might still feel that way today. This is why you have difficulty connecting to both your feelings and the feelings of others. You stop connecting deeply with your emotions to protect yourself from the world. As a result, you bar your wounded inner child from ever expressing true emotions, leading to feelings of emptiness, helplessness, and hopelessness. According to Healthline, emotional repression can cause mental health consequences like depression as well. All of these can be signs that your inner child is trying to communicate something to you. Author and civil rights activist Maya Angelou said, "Do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better." Healing your inner child begins with your decision to do better and then assessing the right resources to support you. Reaching out to a mental health professional is a step in the right direction towards healing. Did you recognize these behavior tendencies? How did these affect you? Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comment section below. If you found this video helpful, share it with others who may need to watch it. And for more related videos, remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Thank you so much for watching.